Deep down, we all know journaling is good for us, a repository of memories to look back on, a way to reflect, a way to declutter the chaos of the mind. But if you're like me, the crazier our lives become, the less likely it is I want to journal and declutter it. At the end of the day, I'm exhausted, cranky, all I want to do is blast open Netflix, put my mind on autopilot, or even head straight to bed. A blank white page is the last thing I want to stare at and ponder over. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be that hard, that you could get all the effects of journaling and more, and it only takes 5 minutes? I know because I've been doing the 5-minute death journal for the past 30 days, and it has literally transformed my life. The 5-minute death journal is simple. There's a very specific layout you follow, a very specific set of questions you answer for the day. Its design stems from positive psychology research to help you remember more about your life, to become more productive overall, and most importantly, build long-term brain connections associated with control, executive decision-making, and happiness. And again, it only takes 5 minutes. The first exercise of the journal is called the Deathbed Time Machine Tour of Today. Imagine you are literally 80 years old and about to die. The moment before your last breath, you revisit one day of your entire life. And it just so happens that out of the almost 30,000 days you've lived, today is that fateful day. And so, what are the top 3 moments of today you want your 80-year-old self to experience? They're about to die, so 1, be concise, and 2, you can only pick 3. Choose wisely and give that old man some good memories to chew on before he's gone. Make him glad he picked this day of all days. Prove to him that this day was somehow worthy of being revisited, that this day in particular had meaning in the bigger scheme of things. You don't have to be at Disney World or partying in Vegas to ascribe meaning to this day. That's the point of this exercise, to find meaning in the mundane. Sometimes it's the littlest of things that stand out in particular, the way the sun shines inside your window, the cute smile of someone you love you would have otherwise failed to pay attention to. As you lay there, dying, years down the road, it's possible this person is no longer in your life, and that smile, a distant, faded memory you haven't seen in years. So, make that old man's day and tell him about that smile in all its splendor. Quite possibly, this could be the biggest gift you could have given him. What I like about this exercise is that it gives you a new awareness of the entire day. You become a third-party observer, a surveyor of the land, present to each moment. There's a certain calmness that comes with simply observing. Not to mention, it's kind of fun, a sort of scavenger hunt for the day. And when you find a top 3 worthy moment, you make a mental note to savor the details of it that much more before you then crystallize it in your 5-minute death journal later. To extend the analogy further, think of each day as a game show. Each day is submitting its top 3 moments in a giant competition to see which day can literally be billed as the best day of your life. And if you think your best day is behind you, don't despair. Keep on playing. Find the next best day. In this game show, each remaining day still has a chance to be revisited by Deathbed future you. So, do your best to capture and sell each day's best moments. Speaking of old people, second exercise of the journal is called the Wise Old Man Who Teaches You Stuff. Think of your day personified as a wise old man. He's a friendly grandpa sitting by the fireplace about to throw down the wisdom of lived experience. In one sentence, ask yourself, what did the wise old man teach me today? Whether or not you are aware of it, there's a lesson to be learned in every single day. And again, it doesn't have to be obvious. Best lessons I've ever learned come from the unlikeliest of places, when something doesn't go my way, when I reluctantly meet my neighbor for the first time, maybe some little nugget I find while skimming an obscure book. There's magic to be found everywhere in this tiny universe. What new discoveries will you find in this mystical black box today? Realize the simple fact that if it were not for this day, you would never have learned this one new interesting thing. This exercise again increases the importance and gravitas of the random day you call today, elevating its stature in your memory when you think back on it. Furthermore, it pushes you to actively seek out new experiences. I don't know about you, but the excitement of logging these discoveries at the end of the day helps me reconnect with the world with renewed childlike wonder, and at the very least, pushes me to pay more attention to what is already going on. Third exercise is called the evil serial kidnapper who happens to be a part-time productivity coach. Imagine a buff dude in a ski mask. He's taken a particular liking to you and just kidnapped you. As you are being whisked away in his unmarked van, you realize he's untying you and taking off your gag. Surprisingly, he tells you he'll let you go if you promise to accomplish 3 things tomorrow. But if you don't, he's going to come back and drown your hamster. These accomplishments have to be as concrete and specific as possible, things you know you can get done. The life of your hamster is on the line. If you don't have a hamster, well, he's then going to buy you one, let you fall in love with him, have years of bonding, and just when you think it's safe and your traumatic kidnapping but a distant memory, he's going to suddenly pop back in and drown your hamster. As evil as this productivity coach is, he does mean well. He wants you to get clarity. If you could only do 3 concrete things tomorrow for yourself to improve yourself, something you've been holding off perhaps, what would they be? Again, be as specific as possible. It's not, I'm going to read a book, it's, I'm going to read 20 pages of green eggs and ham right after I eat lunch at 12 o'clock sharp. Plan these things with the expectation you are definitely going to do them. Objective of this third exercise is to help you quickly prioritize and embed 3 important things in your busy life tomorrow with a little bit of imagined accountability. And if you don't get it done, well, in the next daily death journal, you then have an extra task to write a quick little plea to your evil part-time productivity coach and tell him how sorry you are. Explain what your pathetic excuse was for failing the 3 tasks and plead for your hamster's life. I recommend you actually write it out and have fun with it, because later, when you look back on your daily death journals, you can see exactly how many times you had to make excuses to save your hamster. Do you see a recurring pattern? Do your excuses stand up to the test of time? Is it because your 3 tasks were unreasonable, or is it because you just suck at execution? Figure out the problem and solve it for the next time. Bottom line is, you can't solve it if you don't reflect, and that's the point of this exercise. And of course, please reassure your little hamster that he'll be safe. Probably. To really make sure you keep your little hamster buddy safe, one tool you should be using is unriddle.ai. This video's kind sponsor. Let's say you want to make sense of a bunch of dense articles and research papers. What if I told you there was a tool out there that could read and synthesize all the information for you in a matter of seconds? Unriddle.ai is exactly that, an insanely smart assistant that can do all of that. I literally just uploaded a bunch of PDFs and an entire textbook into Unriddle's brain. Now I can ask it specific questions on any topic or chapter and breeze through my work with custom-made notes and takeaways. It's like I'm wearing an Iron Man suit, and this is my own personal Jarvis. When it comes time to write, Unriddle scans my uploaded documents and suggests relevant content to include, literally as I type, in real time. It even organizes all my references for me, so all my citations are done by the time I finish. Best part is, if you are attacked by a sudden, untreatable, rabid case of writer's block, don't worry, just type ++ and Unriddle finishes the thought for you. Signing up is easy. Just go to unriddle.ai and make an account today. Now, back to the video. 4th exercise, the karmic well of universal awesomeness. Imagine a giant universe-swallowing well, bottomless and infinite in size, filled with wholesomeness, positive energy, and love, where all good actions eventually get deposited, and from whence positive karma flows forth. Ask yourself, what deposits into this giant karmic well did you do today? In other words, what have you done today to make the world a better place? And when I say world, this can be another fellow human being, a tiny bird singing outside your window, a tiny ant happily swimming around in your ice cream, whatever. This is another way to, again, imbue meaning into this particular day. That this day shouldn't just be forgotten because it was not just an ordinary day. It was an exceptional one because you did something awesome, and even better because it wasn't for yourself, but for someone else, and not with the expectation you'll get anything in return, but just because it's a nice thing to do and makes your life, and specifically this particular day of your life, that much more meaningful and worthwhile. 5th exercise, the internal springs of never-ending gratitude. Dr. Robert Emmons of UC Davis and Dr. Michael McCullough of the University of Miami studied 3 groups of people. The first group wrote about things that they were grateful for that occurred in the previous week. A second group wrote about daily irritations or things that made them unhappy. A third group wrote about neutral events that affected them during the day. After 10 weeks, those in the gratitude group were more optimistic and felt better about their lives. Moreover, they exercised more and had fewer doctor visits as well. Other studies echo these findings. In fact, PhD researchers Joshua Brown and Joel Wong of Indiana University use functional MRI studies to look at what happens in the brain as a result of writing about gratitude. And they saw that even 3 weeks of gratitude writing resulted not only in better mental health, but increased activation in the medial prefrontal cortex, an area of the brain associated with learning and decision making, an effect that lasted even 3 months later after gratitude writing had stopped. We are talking about lasting beneficial brain changes that change how you see the world. How awesome is that? And that is why the last bullet in your death journal is reserved for gratitude. In one sentence, quickly write about what you are most grateful for on this beautiful, momentous, and quite memorable, lovely day. Why is it called the death journal? Simple. Each day of your life is a dear friend. Depending on how old you are, you only have so many days left. If each day is a friend, then as each day passes, that friend dies, and sadly, there will come a time when you won't have many friends left. The idea behind the death journal is to celebrate the death of each day like you would a dear friend. The journal is its eulogy, for each day is valuable, each day important. Every day of your life is but a gift. Every day has a role to play within the bigger context of your life. If you don't take a moment to recognize its passing, it won't be very long before all the years soon blur together. And in this blur, time will speed up until the very last day. And on this last day, you'll wake up old and tired, wondering where all the days went, with nothing but forgotten dreams and a scattered life barely remembered. Only then will you miss your old friends, wishing they were around to reminisce with you. But because you didn't take the time to do so in your younger years, they won't be there for you. They won't be there as the fond, beautiful memories you wish you had, because simple fact is, you won't remember. That's why each day deserves a moment of silence, a quick acknowledgement to memorialize its last moments before the clock coldly marches forward yet again. No day should ever be left behind, no day forgotten, no day unappreciated. Your friends deserve better. So, in summary, at the end of each day, spend 5 minutes going through these 5 exercises, 1 minute per exercise. First minute is dedicated to the top 3 moments of the day. Second minute is dedicated to a new lesson, experience, or insight you gained today. Third minute is dedicated to planning 3 things you are going to accomplish for tomorrow that you otherwise would not have done. Fourth minute is dedicated to memorializing something selfless you did today, and in the last minute, you focus on gratitude. Easy, simple, and valuable. It takes only 5 minutes, and it transforms your life and your brain for the better. What more could you want? Hopefully, by the time this video airs, I will have made a Notion template of the death journal for you guys to try out. If you want it in a different format, let me know in the comments, and I'll try my best to make it happen. And that's it, my friends. I hope today's video brought you some actionable value. To hear more about the 3 important things framework, it's actually similar to a simpler productivity system I use called the inverted pyramid method. If you haven't seen it already, head on over there, and then sign up for my Substack to get ideas like this delivered to your inbox, and become a paid member for exclusive articles, commentary, and behind-the-scenes thoughts. If you want your very own custom-made character doodle to be part of all future video scenes I draw, then become a Patreon member. You can be yourself, a dog, or even a rock. Possibilities are endless. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, then go tell your friends, your grandma, and your pet hamster. Smell you later.